I do believe that we can be awakened. For example, I felt like for like a year or two, I was kind of just running on autopilot, and that I felt so much less aware for like a year or two. And I feel like everyone can go through this. I have definitely gone through it. I felt so much more aware like 2 years back. And I feel like I just really started to run on autopilot, and I started to lose myself. And I feel like just recently, it was actually my brother, my middle brother, said things that completely awakened me, man. They made me start to realize that I'm actually living. Like, I've actually got a life to live, and that I started to feel like I was a lot more aware again. So I feel like we can all go through that period, those periods of just being on autopilot, not being aware. Um, and some people for a long time. I'm so glad that recently I was brought back to my awareness. And I'm so glad. Because literally, yeah, like I say, for a year or two, I I couldn't find meaning. I didn't have that purpose. I was just completely unaware. So maybe to an extent, it's not even like a different type of mind that that will that will have this awareness. I think it's the fact that you've got to be able to have the confidence to open up your mind, to have the confidence to question things, to see things differently, to think outside the box, and to like not go by societal standards. Not have to go by societal standards, but to think for yourself. I think it takes a lot of confidence to be able to think for yourself and have your own opinions that might even be controversial. But like, controversial opinions are just opinions that society does not yet go by. There's some awful controversial opinions, absolutely. But there's also been those controversial opinions throughout time that have actually done a lot of good. For example, Martin Luther King's opinions back in the day would have been controversial for the time. And thank goodness he did do those speeches and created like a different view for us all. Thank goodness he did. He had to stand up and say these things for society to change. But the fact that those opinions of his were actually controversial in the day, imagine if he didn't say these things, you know? So just because an opinion's controversial does not mean it's wrong. And for example, like during like the witch trial times, right? I mean, if you would have had the opinion that it was wrong to do the witch trials, then you would have a controversial opinion for the time. If you didn't believe in things like bloodletting to get rid of illnesses, so like yeah, if you didn't believe in that, right, then that would be controversial. If you didn't believe in a certain religion, that would have been controversial. it's all just the times, man. And just because, like I say, just because something's controversial does not mean it's wrong. It just means society doesn't see it that way yet. But now, from my experience, I know that you can be awakened, you can be reawakened. And I know that now you can just run throughout your life without really being all that aware.